Hey everybody, this was supposed to be the plan with me for April the 29th through May the 5th, which I actually finished filming, only to discover that the entire video, somehow my iPad was shooting I had tilted it the wrong way and it was shooting sideways. So the whole thing is filmed basically like this, and I cannot for the life of me figure out how to turn it around. I have purchased and downloaded several different apps that promise to rotate video because you cannot do it in iMovie, which I think is a serious shortfall. Apple, if you're out there watching, you need to make it possible for us to rotate video. It's very irritating that we can't, because I'm filming this on my iPad and my iPhone. I do not have a fancy camera. I can't afford a fancy camera. And anyway, so I got all the way through it and went to go edit it and realized that the whole thing is sideways, and I'm not going to subject you all to that. So instead, I'm going to show you what I put together for this week, and then I'm going to show you a hack that I have put together for you. So forgive me that this is not a plan with me. I know everybody likes to see that, or at least people have told me that they like to see that, but we're skipping that this week in favor of this. So I am still in my Speckled Fawns A5 Traveler's Notebook, and I am still liking it. I do still wish that there was a little bit less play, as you can see, in the elastics, but I'm afraid to tighten them too much because this rustic Kodiak leather is gloriously squishy and floppy and wonderful, but that also means that even with a reinforced spine, if I pull the elastics too tight, it's going to start caving in at the top and the bottom. So I still have not come up with a perfect solution to this, but this is so far my favorite of all of my covers. So that said, this is what I had filmed for you guys this week. I was using a Mandy Lynn Plans, her coffee bean weekly kit. I don't know if this is still in her shop or not. I know this was in one of her first releases. I believe it was in February. So I don't know if this is still up in her shop or not, but I will link her shop below. I love this kit. Super cute, and I was feeling the need for some caffeine related energy. So this is what I have for my plan with me. So yeah, just there's that. And in the meantime, I am going to actually skip ahead to this week in June to show you the hack that I'm going to do, and that is this. So I will actually pause this video and insert the video that I show you how to hack this to be the correct size. This is a downloadable kit, a printable kit from, ooh, that's really dark. I don't know if you can see, Plan4happy on Etsy. And it comes with the cut files and the picture files, and it is sized for Erin Condren. So what I do is I actually hack this before I even print it in my Silhouette software. So I have filmed how I do that, and then this is after the fact. I've printed this out, and I'll show you how it all fits. So hold tight, let me insert that video here, and I will be right back. Okay, please bear with the terrible quality. I don't have a way, as far as I know, to screen record on my PC. Unfortunately, I have a PC and not a Mac. So I'm just going to show you how I try to do this. This is a printable kit by Plan4happy. It's their Rain mini kit. And it is sized for the Erin Condren, of course. So as most printable kits are these days. But they are actually pretty easy to hack for the Cousin, since the Cousin has long vertical strips for days. As long as you can get the width correct, the height doesn't really matter other than for your preference. So what I've done is I've opened up the file in my Silhouette software, and I have made a square, or a rectangle rather, that is the width of the Cousin column, which is 3.3 centimeters or 33 millimeters. Now I think the Silhouette software defaults to US measurements, inches and feet, but it's really easy to change to millimeters or centimeters, metric. So all you do is you hold this, actually, let me make sure, I'm not sure if this is, okay. I'm grouping all of this together because I don't know what's separate. And you want it grouped together. You want the cut lines and everything grouped together. That way it all changes size when you do this together. If you don't, you have a mess on your hands. And then I take my, oops. So I want this in the front so I can see it. And I just set it there. Now, as you can see, the stickers are going to be too wide. But all you have to do, it's literally this easy, is you shrink it down until it fits. Let's see if I can find a lighter colored one so you can see a little bit better. It's still a little bit too big. And the whole page moves, so you kind of have to move your measuring stick just a bit after you shrink something. Sorry, I can't set this up and talk at the same time. But as you can see, there we go. If you can see, it is now the exact width of the columns. And then all of this, because I grouped all of this together and shrank the whole thing, all of these are now the cousin column width. So I'm trying to grab my rectangle now. I don't need that anymore. So now all I have to do is print this as is and cut as is. And it's done. That easy. So this now will fit perfectly in my cousin when I go to print it. Oops. And that is that. That is how you hack a printable, Rowan. Shh. That is how you hack a printable kit sized for Erin Condren. Now, if you wanted to shrink these vertically as well, you absolutely could. You just do the same thing, grab the little circle at the top and shrink it down. I personally usually just leave them. Let me show you. You would just grab this right here and shrink it down however much you wanted to shrink it down. Make it a little bit more proportionate. This actually is a good measure as well. This is kind of like not your hourly box, but your next bigger box. So if you want to use that as kind of a guide for how thick you want things, that's always helpful. But again, that is how you hack it. It is really simple. So now when I print and cut, it will fit perfectly. I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that. A little bit more proportionate. Pull that off to the side. Now I actually keep this. Whenever I save these, I just keep it on one of my pages. And whenever I get a new printable, I just copy this over from wherever. That way I don't have to make a new box. It's not like it's a really big deal, but it saves me a little bit of time. So there you go. That is just a quick hack video of how you change the printable to fit your cousin, which opens up a whole lot of opportunities. Now, not everything will fit perfectly as far as like monthly kits and everything, because of how the Hobonichi is laid out is a little bit different than your standard, say, Erin Condren. But especially for weekly kits where it's just boxes or washi strips and then, you know, things of this nature, this will now be a perfect kit for me to use. So I hope that's helpful to you. Okay, so I am just going to put this on. This isn't going to be a plan with me per se, because this is way in advance. Obviously, I'm doing this in June. But just to show you how everything fits now that I have resized it as I just showed you. So here we go. First of all, I am going to do the days of the week covers. And I am going to start over here on Sunday. Now, as you can see, I did go ahead and shrink it height-wise as well as width-wise. You do not have to do this. especially if you want to cover up this whole section here. But I did not, and what I'm actually going to do is just measure it to the bottom and go up with it, as you can see, so that I have this blank spot. For no other reason than that's how I want to do it. Now, these date covers are obviously individual. I do prefer strips, just because it's easier to lay down that way. But this is certainly not a problem. And as you can see, because I measured it when I was shrinking it, it fits perfectly. And that is the beauty of printable kits, is if you know the measurements of your planner, by and large, not 100%, but for the most part, you can hack it to be whatever size you want before printing, which it's a lot more work up front, but less so on the back end, because you know you're not having to put it down and then cut and peel and do what you need to do like you would with a printed kit. Whoopsie. I can lay washi down straight, I promise. Just not today. So there we go. As you can see, all of those fit and turn into this gorgeous little washi. And I am going to head and write the dates down really quickly, because I do plan on covering up the calendar. Okay. I am going to put this weekend sticker down. And I believe I have finally worked all of the kinks out of my silhouette, so I shouldn't have any sticking issues. Now obviously there's a whole bunch of deco stickers and script stickers right here. I am actually going to, sorry, I should have got this out ahead of time. I completely got flustered when I realized that my other video had filmed sideways. And you know, it's not like I'm a new Apple user. I'm aware that it does that sometimes. If you tilt it when you don't realize you're tilting it even just a little bit too much, it will flip to film what it assumes is oriented up, which would be very, very helpful if I wasn't trying to film with it laying down. Obviously the iPad was not designed for filming facing straight down at a desk. And it's not an issue, it can, it just has problems sometimes. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and go with this. So as you can see, everything, because I sized it together, fits perfectly from grid to grid. And I mean, that's basically it. That's my hack. When you resize it before you even print it, it fits, and there's never even an issue. Like I said, you do have to know the measurements up front. And I find it much easier because obviously this is a Japanese planner. Everything is in metric rather than imperial measurements. So millimeters or centimeters, I forget what it's listed as in the Silhouette software. Wow, that is really, really not straight. I'll pick that up in a little bit and fix it. I find it easier to do the measurements in that because that's how all of this is measured. You can do it in inches, but you're going to end up with some really wonky decimal places or fractions, whereas if you just go ahead and do the measurements in metric to begin with, problem solved. Alright, I'm trying really hard to lay this down straight, and it's just not happening today. And then I'm going to use, because I'm one short for how I want to use these, I'm just using these as like my priority stickers for the day. And as you can see, it fits perfectly. Now with this is their mini kit, and there is no like bottom washi or anything, so I think I'm going to probably pull out some of my Simply Gilded washi and find something cute that matches and put that down. But I'm not going to worry about that today because this is all the way in June, so plenty of time to get all of this stuff done. I really do like the little bow dividers. Unfortunately, there's only 4, and I do not know why designers do this. I can understand 5, because then you have the 5 days of a work week and the weekend. I don't understand 4 dividers. Why would you only do 4 of one kind of divider? It makes no sense. So what I will probably do, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'll figure it out. But I just wanted to show you how it does fit. And as you can see, it cuts slightly inside the printed line, so this will be perfectly within the grid. And that is the Plan for Happy mini kit. I mean, you can resize any printable kit this way. So this counts for all printables that give you the PDF to print as well as the cut files. You would have to make sure to group it together as I showed you in the video before you shrink it. That way the cut files shrink at the same proportion as the stickers. If you just shrink the stickers, then when you go to cut, it's going to be cutting bigger chunks, and it's going to be like chopping blocks in half, and you know, it'll be a mess. Now obviously if you're cutting these by hand instead of with a silhouette or a Cricut, then that doesn't apply to you. You just shrink it down to whatever percentage you want when you print it, and don't even worry about the cut files. So there you go. That's my little hack for the day. These are really easy to do. So if you have any questions about how I did this, or if anything was unclear, please let me know in the box below. I'm happy to answer questions. I am certainly no expert, but I can do this much. So I will be happy to help you figure out how to do it for yourself. I hope this is helpful. We'll see you guys next time.